parables. Parables of Allah for His servants. Narrated an Nawas bin Sam'an al-Kilabi that the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Indeed Allah has made a parable of the straight path. At the sides of the path there are walls with open doors, each door having a curtain. There is a caller at the head of the path calling, and a caller above it calling. And Allah invites to the abode of peace and guides whomever He wills to the straight path. The gates that are on the side of the path are the limits of God, and if someone transgresses the limits of Allah, then the veil is removed, and the one calling from above, it is his Lord." Great Sahih. Source Jami at-Tirmizi. English translation Volume 5 Book 42 Hadith number 2859. Arabic reference Book 44 Hadith 3098. Parables of God, Prophet, Islam, Paradise and its inhabitants. Narrated Said bin Hilal that Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari radhiyallahu anhu said, "One day the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came out to us and said, while I was sleeping I had a vision as if Jibril was at my head and Mikael was at my feet. One of them said to his companion, 'Make a parable for him.' So he said, 'Listen so that your ears may hear. Hearken so that your heart may understand. The parable of you and your ummah is but the parable of a king who conquers a land. Then he constructs a house in it. Then he places a table spread in it. Then he sends a messengers to call the people to eat from it. Among them are those who answer the call of the messengers, and among them are those who forsake it. So Allah is the king, and the land is Islam, and the house is paradise. And you, O Muhammad, you are the messengers, so whoever responds to you, he enters Islam. And whoever enters Islam, he enters paradise. And whoever enters paradise, he shall eat of what is in it." Great Sahih. Source Jami at-Tirmizi. English translation Volume 5 Book 42 Hadith 2860. Arabic reference Book 44 Hadith 3099. Parables of rulers of God for His servants. Narrated Abu Uthman an-Nahdi from Ibn Masud radhiyallahu anhu said, "The messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed Isha, then he turned and took the hand of Abdullah ibn Masud until he went with him to the wide valley of Makkah. He sat him down, then he drew a line around him. Then he said, 'Do not go beyond your line, for indeed there shall come some men to you, but do not speak to them, for they shall not speak to you.' He said, then the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to where he wanted to go, and while I was sitting within the line, some men came to me that appeared as if they were from Azut, a dark people either from North Africa or India. See Tufat al-Ahwadhi and Nihayah, both their hair and their bodies were also dark. I did not see nakedness nor covering. They ended up before me, but they did not pass the line. Then they returned towards the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when it was near the end of the night, the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to me while I was sitting. And he said, I have been awake watching all night. Then he entered into the line with me and lay down on my thigh to sleep, and the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would snore when he slept. So while I was sitting there and the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sleeping with his head resting on my thigh, there appeared some men wearing white garments, and Allah knows best just how handsome they were. They came towards me, and a group of them sat at the head of the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and a group at his feet. Then they said to each other, "We have not ever seen a slave of Allah who was given the likes of what this prophet has been given. Indeed, his eyes sleep, but his heart remains awake. His parable is that of a chief who built a castle. Then he placed a table spread in it and invited the people to eat from his food and drink. So whoever answers his invitation, he eats from his food and drinks from his drink. Whoever does not answer, he is punished, or he said he is chastised." Then they alighted, and the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam awake at that time and said, "I heard what they were saying. Do you know who they were?" I said, "Allah and his messengers know better." He said, "They were the angels. Do you know the meaning of the parable they stated?" I said, "Allah and his messenger know better." He said, "The meaning is that Ar-Rahman, most blessed and most high, built paradise, and he invited his slaves to it. Whoever replies, he shall enter paradise, and whoever does not reply, he shall be punished or chastised." Great Daif Source Jamiat Tirmizi, English translation, Volume 5, Book 42, Hadith 2861, Arabic reference, Book 44, Hadith 3100. Parable of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and other prophets. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah anhu that the messengers of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The parable of myself and the prophets before myself is that of a man who constructed a house. He completed it and made it well except for the space of one brick. So the people enter it and marvel at it, saying, 'If not for the space of this brick.'" Great Sahih Source Jami at-Tirmidhi, English translation, Volume 5, Book 42, Hadith 2862, Arabic reference, Book 44, Hadith 3101. To get new episodes, click subscribe button.